Hello, hello, you beautiful souls. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Michelle. We talk all things life, love, spirituality, law of attraction, and all of that juicy goodness. We are here for our weekly energy reading. This is the first week in December, and December seems to be a month of coming out of hibernation. I keep getting that sensation. Sometimes I get sensations like 2 weeks, and it's kind of like what I go through 2 weeks before the month starts. And I actually had a thought that maybe I should do like monthly readings, like a reading in preparation for each month, because this month just feels like we're coming out of the cave. We're coming out of this hibernation phase. I know I've been in a restful stage since like September. September was like a big purge for me, lots of crying, and for my clients too and my viewers. Um, Lots of crying, lots of resting, not wanting to work as much. We're being called to upgrade in some way, and we have to ride that wave. So December is kind of like, all right, it's time, it's go time. We are moving and grooving now. And that's why I have my cute little butterfly top on, because guess what? Butterflies represent transformation. We are coming out of the chrysalis phase. We are no longer those caterpillars that are stuck to the ground. We now have wings and we can fly. So the theme of December is it's time to fly. It's time to come out of your cave. Archangel Michael, Archangel Metatron, our lovely guides, please open sacred space. Please only allow the highest and whitest light to come through. Bring us the messages that all of my viewers and myself need to hear for this week. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I love you guys so much. You always protect me. They are my, I always call them my husbands in the sky. They're my ultimate protectors. And essentially they live within me, so I can protect myself. Okay, so speaking of butterfly, I actually I went through all my journals and I found this bad boy. I found that 3 days ago. So that was a little seed planted that I would be moving through a transitional time myself. And so might all of you. Let me get all my little crystals out. I forgot to do that earlier. I use my crystals as little cleanses for the decks. I put them on different decks each time, depending on what I feel. I forgot to put my little lip gloss on too. Sorry, guys. Feel like a feminine. Okay, let's start with my charms. One more crystal. Okay, what messages do we need to hear for this week? What about this transformation that we're going through? How can we be best of service to ourselves and to the people around us that might be going through transformations that they're not really used to? So I just heard that there's going to be people that might be coming to all of you for guidance, and we have to be the ground. We have to know that we've been butterflies before. We've done this many times. We've gone through these death and rebirth phases, and there's more people going through divorce, breakups, job changes, and they're going to need you to be their support system. But you first have to take care of you. And a lot of times when we have a hibernation phase, that was like preparation. We just rested because now it's go time and we have to be there to support others. All right, we have the peace sign. We are coming into a more peaceful state in our lives. We're being guided. Throat chakra's going crazy already. We're being guided to more peace in our life. And we have a horse. I just had a vision of somebody calmly, like throwing their leg over the horse as they're getting onto the horse, but it was like, it took them a really long time to get on the horse. It was slow. It was like a slow little kick I just saw. And I think that represents like someone is finally getting on the horse and they're finally taking action in their life in the right direction. But once you're on the horse, it's like the horse is going to take you where you're meant to go. You don't have to worry about like how to get there. The horse has you, and that's the universe. But to get on the horse, you have to kind of maybe cut out old habits. You might have to speak your truth. You might have to face something that you haven't wanted to look at. You might have to get divorced. But once you take that one step or that one, you just hop onto the horse, everything else will fall into place. And that's when your peace arrives. All right, I'm being guided to do a couple more. Archangel Michael, I love you. Thank you. So the saint symbol is always to me is Archangel Michael. And that's his message to me saying he's guiding you on that horse. He's going to show you how to hop on. He's going to tell you what job interview to go on. He's going to tell you what person you need to speak your truth to. The universe is going to bring you situation after situation that's going to lead you to what's best for your healing. And then we have a cute little paw print. So somebody out there has maybe a pet that's passed away that's wanting to talk to you right now. And maybe this sweet animal, whether it's a cat, a dog, a horse, whatever it is, there's some animal that has crossed over and it's now being your guide in the spirit world. And it's going to take you to what's best for you. So you can talk to your sweet little pet and say, thank you so much for guiding me. I love you. I just heard they've been sending you signs. Maybe they've been sending you hearts. And you're kind of like, I've been wondering what these hearts were. It's your past pet. They've been wanting to say hi to you and they weren't sure how to get your attention, but now they've used me. Okay, let's start off this reading with the Muse deck, which I've been loving lately, by Chris Ann. Here's the book if you wanted to order it for yourself on Amazon. All right, Spirit, what do we need to hear for this week? I think there's one card flipped over. Interesting. So we're going to take that. The Magician. We can co-create our week. We can co-create our lives. We are co-creators. So Spirit wants you to know that you're the magician of your life. We create magic wherever we go. And it's with our light. It's with our dedication to our vibration and our frequency. I was just watching a video this morning and I was learning something brand new. And let's see if I can regurgitate it correctly. These are not my teachings. This is something I learned from, I think I learned it from David Lyon. He was talking about how your vibration and your frequency are two totally different things. So somebody could be going through, or maybe somebody comes into a lot of money, right? And their vibration is super, super high. And they're like, oh my gosh, this feels so good. But they might have a low frequency because they might be a really greedy person and they might be stealing the money in some way, or maybe they finagled things to talk somebody into giving them money. That's a low frequency. High vibe is your energy state. Frequency is who are you at the core? What is your current frequency? You know, someone might be going through a divorce and you might be like so depressed and so sad and wondering like what the person is doing. Are they dating somebody new? Your vibration is low, but at the same time, you might be thinking, you know what, this is what's best for me. I have to allow this to happen. So your vibration might be low, but your frequency at the core of you, you're loving, you're compassionate, you're seeing why you needed to get divorced. And the human part of you is just feeling that abandonment. And you're like, oh my gosh, I need to cling. So your vibration is low because you're stressed about them dating somebody new. And what if they're better than you? And the mind will create all these stories. But at your core, your frequency knows that you know that that ending was what's best for you. And if behind my head, I always have a sign here. It says a sweet ending to a new beginning. And I purchased that after my daughter passed away because even though that seemed like a horrific ending, it was really a new beginning. It was me turning into a beautiful butterfly. And without that experience of losing my daughter, she was about 6 weeks old when she passed. She had a muscle disorder. Her photo is up here. And she was actually born on a Friday the 13th. So the 13th is actually the death card in the tarot. So when I first found that out, I was like, oh, I don't like it. It feels like a bad omen. And plus it was on a Friday the 13th. But then I realized it was just a sweet ending. Like she was only meant to be here for that short period of time to wake me up, to activate me. And I believe we had a soul contract where that was our agreement in this lifetime. She was going to come in, show me her beautiful eyes. The eyes are the window to the soul. And once I captured that, it turned me on. My soul turned on. And then I was able to go do this mission that I came here to do, which is spreading her message of love and compassion and acceptance. So I also just got a really good message. When you want to become the magician of your life, you have to first learn to accept your life. the mind will want to, you know, I once learned that forgiveness is kind of like admitting that somebody has done wrong to you. And you're saying, like, well, you did this to me, so I'm going to forgive you. Where in reality, that person didn't know any better. They were in a pattern. They were maybe, I always say it's like giving the car keys to a 10-year-old and being like, drive me to the store. They don't know how to do it. So it's almost like you're forgiving that child, you know, for being terrible and not driving you to the store. Oh, I forgive you. I forgive you because you didn't do that for me. No, you just accept it. Like they didn't have the tools. There's nothing to forgive. It just is what it is. And when people hurt us, that's what's happening. We don't need to forgive it. We just need to see it for what it is and then move on. And then we don't hold any kind of pain or any kind of resentment or I wish this would have happened differently. So many good messages right now. Okay, I just got another message that when you're co-creating your future, say it's in business and you want to create more money for yourself. Maybe you had a failed attempt before, or maybe you invested money and lost it. If there's some sort of past experience that didn't go the way you wanted it to go, and maybe you had your own business and it was draining, or you just have this core memory of something not working out, what I want you to do is I want you to get out your journal right now, pause this video, go get it, hit play now, and say, I want you to rewrite your past and tell a story how it all worked out and how amazing it was. And I know if that would have happened, you wouldn't be here watching this because everything would not have unfolded the way it did. But play out a different story so that you want to change the memory that you hold from that event, because the memory holds a feeling and the feeling is still in your body. And when you're a magician and you're creating your future, your body is you're creating a future of what your current vibration and your current frequency is. Remember we talked about frequency? It's the core of who we are. Your vibration is just raising higher and lower depending on your day and your mood. Your frequency is the core of who you are. It's, do you have innate anger in you? Do you have innate love and compassion? Are you allowing and accepting the 10-year-old who can't drive the car, which is all the people in your life that have hurt you? You're allowing them to have had that experience, and you're allowing yourself to have had that experience. Why am I still holding this deck? But you're allowing them to have that experience because they didn't know any better. And that experience taught you something. It maybe taught you how to love better, or how to not put up with that, or not how to not continue a pattern. So to co-create a better future, you have to change your frequency. And your frequency at the root is your ability to accept life the way it is. Because if anything, there's one quote, I'm trying to think of what it is. If things should have been different, then they would have been. There's some quote about that. I forget what it is. But if you're always thinking that things should have been different, stop, because they aren't. It's what happened is what is, and we have to learn to accept it. And once you accept that, rewrite your past. And I also just heard, make sure you rewrite your past from 0 to 8 years old, because that's like your core memories at that age. So if there was abuse in your house, rewire, say, wow, my family members were all so loving. They were so protective of me and my energy and my sleep and my work and my food. They always were making sure I was provided for, that my emotional needs were met. And you write a whole new childhood, because now you're creating a future that looks like that for maybe your kids. Or maybe in a partnership, you're saying that your parents took care of each other and they were always so supportive and they never raised their voices. You're now creating a future like that for yourself. Same thing with business. My business was booming. It was so fun to dance with the universe, to call in more clients, and everything just took off, and it was easy and it was effortless. I had the funds when I needed the funds. And you write that story out for your future. Not even going to say it. Okay, lots of good messages. Thank you so much, Archangel Michael. Ask for a sign, be specific, then be grateful for when it arrives. Holy cow, we got 3, 4. Okay, and then we have the dolphin card. You are a healer. You are here to help the planet. It is crucial for you to be in your joy as often as you can. Your light heals. The dolphin also means a blessing is on the way. new partnership, new money, new experiences, and you're co-creating that. You're going to be the magician of your own life, but you're using your rewiring of the past, your accepting of the present and the past, and no longer trying to figure anything out or why it happened, or you're just not focused on that. Now you're focused on the good that you wanted it to be, because that's what you're going to create more of. And then we have the turtle. What is underneath your shell? What experiences have you had that can help others who might be suffering? It's time to share your wisdom. So your pain is now turning into your purpose. And I know for me, as soon as my daughter passed, within like a year, I knew what my purpose was. It just kind of took a really long time to kind of unfold. I had a lot of healing to do. I wasn't spiritually awakened yet. But the turtle is saying, like, underneath that shell, every painful experience that you've been through, that you've had to learn to allow and to accept, and not to forgive, but just to allow that person who hurt you, allow that situation to be there, because now it's time to share how it's helped you. And then your wisdom is now going to help somebody else who's going through it. And you're going to be able to say, hey, this is how I did it. I'm going to offer this to you, take it or leave it. But this really helped me immensely. And you help learn about the mind and the acceptance and the soul contracts, and everything is here for us. You know, we're in a huge classroom. I created a mindfulness program back in 2020, and I got to create the whole curriculum for myself, by myself. It was 30 days of 30-minute videos of me teaching elementary all the way through high school kids how to meditate, how to journal. And in each of the journal prompts, I asked them questions, and each day was a different topic. And the questions were relating to the topic. So like one of the topics was life is a classroom. People are your teachers. Our experiences are our lessons. And I help them unpack like bad things that might have already happened to them in their current life. Say they're in 6th grade, they might have already experienced a lot of bad things. So in those journal prompts, I was teaching them how they could see the good in it, and how it's teaching them a lesson, and they're meant to go through it, because then they're going to go use it in the future. So that was a really cool moment for me to know that, like, right now, even as I'm filming this, it's 2:16 p.m. on a Thursday. My face right now could be in 500 schools all around the US and Canada. My program has been sold to 500 different programs or schools, and teachers are they're logging into the website that the company that sold my programs has. They log into the website and they're hitting play on my 30-minute videos, guiding kids through these journal prompts, through these meditations. So it's basically a 30-minute class with me, as if I'm still teaching in the classroom like I did for 17 years. But what a cool opportunity, right? That the universe brought me this blessing. I'm sharing this, and I always share my experiences to motivate and inspire you that everything works out for you. Like my mission work, I thought it was meant to be a teacher, and then it was to create mindfulness videos, and now I'm doing YouTube. Everything kind of has aligned me here, and now I'm a coach helping people understand how their life is leading them, and we can co-create the life of our dreams. But the idea is that I always said, as a magician, I was like, I want to be teaching in schools all over the world, but not to have to actually be there. And the universe brought it to me. So right now I am multiplied 500 times in all these different buildings with all these kids who get to feel my energy, go through these meditations. They get to heal. They get to ask these questions about themselves. And it's all happening right now at the same time that I'm doing this, which is really, really cool. And the same thing is going to happen for you. That was my dream. I have like 33 million as my number. I wanted to reach 33 million kids. I don't even know how many exist in the world. But my number was 33 million kids, and I wanted to inspire them with these messages to love themselves, to learn about life, and that it is a classroom. So whatever you are dreaming of, it is possible. Mine happened in such a magical way, and I'm so grateful for the journey. I'm grateful for my loss, all those bad things that happened to me, sexual abuse, physical abuse as a little girl. I was in survival mode for a really, really long time, and I was exhausted. And then as I started to awaken, all of these things started happening. The horse arrived, I got on the horse, and I took it. I took the leap into the unknown, and look where it led me. It's a pretty magical story. And I'm so blessed that I was brave enough to do it, because there were so many times where I didn't want to be brave and I wanted to stay small. I didn't want to start YouTube. I didn't want to start readings. I didn't know what my past friends and family would be like. Why is Michelle doing cards? Like, why is she like a spiritual person now? Like I worried about that judgment. So I had to step through all of these fears along the way. And the final card in this little trio, or actually there's four: you are the oracle, the king, queen of your reality. Never settle, know your caliber. Yep. This is regarding relationships, careers, friendships, understanding that your bubble, they just gave me a vision of somebody wearing like when they go into space, like a space suit. You have a bubble around your head, right? How you see the world through that bubble is all a reflection of how you see you and how you feel about yourself. So if you see somebody and you have a thought about them, that is only in your bubble. Okay. So when people are saying things to you, that's not coming into your bubble. At least it shouldn't. Other people's opinions should not affect you, because however you're viewing it, it's all happening in your bubble. You are the one in control of how you're feeling, regardless of what's around you. I hope that makes sense. It makes sense to me. So inside your suit, everything is up to you. You're the magician. You get to create how you want to feel in each moment. And yes, we have experiences that draw emotion, and that's showing us where we're still not free. So when our body is feeling sadness, when our body is feeling jealousy, when we're feeling betrayed, when we're feeling abandoned, that's all happening inside of our suit. It's not anybody else that's doing it to us. We are attracting that to us so that we can release it out of our suit, so that we can live more free within our suit. And when we're free, it just feels really nice. And we just learn to love other people and have so much love and compassion for where they are, because we were once there too. And if they don't have the tools to do something, you have to allow that. You can't force them to learn. You can't be angry at them. They just don't know any better. And we just support them along the way, because what's in our suit is all we worry about. Okay. So if you are suffering right now, this is going to be a good one. If you are suffering right now, you are creating that suffering in your suit. And the world is showing you more suffering because that's what's going on inside. So then how do we heal that suffering? We just wait to see what draws emotion. Where are we feeling frustrated? See a situation, analyze it, and say, why does this make me feel this way? It's not that person. It's clearly something within me. And then you unpack it. And throughout each day, each week, each month, the universe will keep bringing you little situations that you're meant to release from your suit. And our suit could be holding things from past lifetimes. It could be holding things from when we were 2 years old that we have no conscious awareness of. You know, maybe you saw somebody hit somebody and be really abusive. Maybe you saw somebody hurt an animal and now you're like an animal activist and you never knew why. Maybe because at 2 years old, you witnessed somebody torture an animal or something. You know, we have these things that we're not aware of, that our body holds. Okay. So sorry, that was really vulgar. I don't like thinking about that at all, about animals being hurt. So I'm sorry I gave you that visual. So let's clear that energy. Okay, speaking of animals, let's go into the animal deck to bring us some light. What do these sweet animals want to tell us? Because I feel like the theme here, we have the turtle, we have the dolphin, we have the paw print, we have a horse. Lots of animals in this reading. Okay, that one hopped up. The bee, sweet results await. Number 7. Your honey is on the way, as I always like to say. So here's another beautiful thing that I talked about in a previous reading. When divine masculine and divine feminine are coming together in partnership, it could be 2 women, it could be 2 men, it could be a man and a woman. The woman or the feminine is the flower. Okay, the flower starts to bloom. The flower starts to get on his or her mission. And then all of a sudden, the masculine is the bee, and the masculine's like drawn to that flower. It's like, I need that nectar. And it's inevitable. But most feminines that I coach, they're not on their mission and they're not blooming. They're waiting for the masculine to come and to save them and to just make them feel better in some way, which is not part of our mission. We're supposed to bloom on our own without needing them. And then they come to us and then we merge. So a lot of times we have to remind ourselves to not focus on attracting the special person. You don't need them to do your mission. You're beautiful on your own. You can do things on your own. You don't need help. And believe me, 4 years ago, I was the girl that was like, I need to find my person. We're going to do this mission together. We're going to like change the world. We're going to lay in bed drinking our coffee in the morning and talk about how we're going to change the world today. I'm going to go places and everybody's going to just admire my man. And they're going to be like, he's the smartest man I've ever met. And I'm going to be like, I know, he's mine. And same vice versa. You know, hopefully my person is getting people saying to them, she is the most beautiful soul and she is so loving and so sweet. There's not a mean bone in her body. And hopefully that will be the same for you. People finally seeing you for who you are. They're seeing your flower, right? They're seeing that bloom, and your masculine sees it too, and your feminine. And you guys are this divine match. And it just feels really, really good to finally be in connection with somebody who understands you, who connects with you, and you both have a mission. So that'll be interesting to see what happens this week for some of you, because we have the king, queen, never settle. The turtle, you're sharing your wisdom together. Dolphin, you're a healer, you're meant to change the world. And then ask for a sign. Maybe somebody's waiting for a sign to move forward. We have the butterfly energy, transformation. Somebody's going through a transformation and they're realizing that they can co-create their reality. And they are coming towards that flower. Sweet results await. All right, let's get one more message before we end. Let's do the Light Seers Tarot. I haven't done that in a while. All right, Spirit, let's talk about money. What kind of money are we going to get this week? Six of Cups. Somebody from your past, or maybe reminiscing from your past, they might be bringing you abundance. Could also be you going back to your past and rewiring your brain around abundance. How did your parents speak about money? And the Six of Cups is not about abundance. It's not about pentacles. It's all about emotions. So for me, the message I'm getting right now is what's your belief system around money in your past? Because I was asking the cards about abundance when I was shuffling. So Archangel Michael is telling us that someone from their past has limiting beliefs around money. And that's what's affecting your blockages right now. You are not attracting money right now because you need to go back to your childhood. Imagine yourself in the kitchen listening to your parents talking, or parent, or guardian. How are they speaking about money? That is now in your body. And you have to learn to witness it and say, no, I'm not going to be scared to look at my bank account. I'm going to imagine money flooding in. And I just was watching a recent video about how when you focus on the money that you do have, that's when more starts coming. I know for me, anytime I come into a bunch of money, it's like continual waves. I get one wave of money, and because I'm so excited about that amount and I see it in my account, I end up going and checking it every day. And I'm like, oh, it feels so good to have this much in there. And I end up attracting so many more waves of money. But when it's the opposite for me, when I'm a little low and I'm like scared, I don't look at my account. I don't want to look at my bills. And that's the wrong move, because now I'm resisting it. There's no relaxation in my body. So what I've learned is when I'm in a low state, if I have $100, I'll make sure I go get $100 bill and I'll keep it with me wherever I go. It's like if I'm going to the store, I literally keep it on the counter. I don't put it in my wallet. I grab it and then I put it in the console of my car, or like in the cup holder while I'm driving. I take it with me into the store, but I keep it visible wherever I am so I feel abundant. And I've had to unpack, how my dad was raised by a man, my grandfather, who was in the war, World War II. So money was not booming, you know what I mean? So my pop always had these like limiting beliefs about money, and so did my dad. My dad wore the same pair of shoes like his whole life. He was terrified to even like spend money on anything. And here's my mom, who's pretty frivolous with money, but she was also a hard worker. She worked like 3 jobs in her teens and in her 20s. And then her and my dad got together. My dad's business was pretty like, middle class and good. And we always had money, but we never did anything lavish. So my mom finally, for the first time in her life, felt like she had something. So she would overspend. And then my dad would be like, why are you spending so much money? And then he would give her the silent treatment. So there was a lot of discord in my world around money. There was no agreements. There was no joy around it. There was always confrontation. So think back to your childhood. Are you carrying that with you? And the way you heal that is I go back to my journal and I rewrite a different story. My dad and mom had the best relationship with money. They taught us how to save it. They taught us what to do with it. They taught us to respect it. They taught us that if we find $10 on the street, to say, oh my gosh, thank you so much. This feels like $1 million. Because the universe, when it gives you $10 or 1,000, there's no difference. Our human brain sees it because we've labeled certain amounts as certain amounts, but it's just energy. So when you see something coming to you in money form, that's the same thing as $1 million. So get just as excited and be so grateful, because if you stay in that gratitude and focus on what you do have, even if it's a penny, this is fun. I found a penny on the ground. That's from the universe. It's literally dropping you this love. Okay, so really start to rewrite your past in all ways. What kind of relationships do you want? Go back and rewrite the relationships that you experienced. Rewrite your business opportunities that maybe didn't go well. Rewrite your relationships with it. I think I just said that. Rewrite your parents' relationships with money. And just really start to focus on everything going smoothly as if it always has. And that's being a magician. To finish up this reading, you get to co-create it. You get to choose it. And the people, honestly, the people that do this work to journal and to really take an hour out of your day to meditate, to imagine the money coming in, to imagine all the money that you already do have and be so grateful for it. Those kinds of people are the people that are getting random 100K donations, or like which one of my clients got, a family member just gifted her 100K. And people get pensions from strange companies. I was watching a video the other day about a woman who she wanted to take a course that costs like $16,000, and she just is a manifesting coach. She knows how this works. So she just imagined the money being there. 2 weeks later, there was random $20,000 deposited into her checking account, and it was from an old company card that she had money left over on, and they were like, the company was closing and they were giving her 20 grand. And she's like, I don't even remember having a card with this company. It's a really weird situation. So the universe will literally, it's a magician. It will create, and you are part of that, but you have to set the intention. So you set the amount, and then the universe will just literally drop it into your account. And if you want to believe that, you can believe that and it will happen. You don't have to believe that you have to work hard. Our parents and grandparents, they thought they had to work hard for money. We don't. So we have to break the cycle. And you can do that. And when you do that, sweet results await. Your honey is coming. And I don't mean person. I just mean the things that you want in your life, the goodness, the yumminess, the deliciousness. All right, lovies, like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell, help me get these messages out there. I'm wishing you all the best.